Hi, Deb here and welcome to my craft room. As you can see by the title, we're back on the fairy garden. We're doing the house this time. I'm trying to colour the craft sticks. Felt pens I didn't like. So what I'm doing here is isopropyl alcohol in a little pot with a small amount of resin colourants, and it did work, although this one is very dark that I'm mixing now and I'm painting on now, very dark. I did actually manage to mix some much lighter, and that's what I went with. That's how I did all of my sticks, as you can see here. I painted all of the sticks that I used like this. Took a very long time because there were an awful lot of sticks. I think I probably painted 150 sticks, and then I went over them with polyurethane varnish just to make them weatherproof, because it's going to be left outside and I wanted them all to be weatherproofed. So I painted all of the sticks and then I hung them up in my craft room to dry, as you can see by my washing line. And here I am starting to make the walls of my little house. I've put double-sided tape onto those two, well, onto one of them anyway, sticks, and I'm going to stick it down and then I will stick the walls to it. So that's like reinforcement. And it also, where I'm on a gridded mat, it makes it so much easier to get the grids, the sides straight and even. So I'm just sticking tape to the other one, and I'll put it down where I want it, and then I will start gluing the rest of the craft sticks. I use the smaller ones, what we would call lollipop stick size, for the two side walls, and then I use the wider size, which I'm using for the reinforcements here. On the back wall I actually put little windows, opening for windows. I didn't include the windows, I put openings on these two side pieces, using Kalau glue. I always use Kalau glue for things like this, but I put it into this little bottle that I'm squirting now because it's much easier to control and to pick up and put down, and that the big bottles are quite heavy. And I'm just sticking down the craft sticks to my walls. I'm actually starting to feel as if my fairy garden will be finished soon, which is nice. I will be quite glad to get it out of the house. It's taking up a bit of room and stopping me doing other things like resin. I'll speed it up now because it's quite boring. Put 6 on one side, now I'm going to put 6 on the other side and leave a space in the middle for the window opening, and I will cut 3 or 4, I think it's 4 sticks to the right size so that it looks like a finished window. Yeah, I think it's 4 sticks, look, that I can fit in. So I make the top ones 3 centimetres in length, and the bottom ones will be 4 centimetres in length. And it actually looks like it's been deliberately made into a window then. use my really industrial nail clippers to cut all of those. They don't cut dead straight. It isn't dead straight, but it's supposed to be a fairy garden. It's supposed to be rustic. And it definitely looks rustic. Snipping away, and then I'll put them all in place. See what I mean about looking rustic? They're not even in line. But I like it. And I'm sure the kids won't mind. Now I am just levelling it all up. Now I made 2 of those exactly the same, and as you can see I used the wider sticks on the back, and I also made a door using 3 of the wider sticks. And here I am just reinforcing around the windows because they were a bit wobbly. I felt that they just needed another stick to support the woods as they were only stuck on with one. Then I left those to dry, and now I'm actually making the front of the house where the door is going. I do use exactly the same principle as I did for the windows. I don't actually know why I didn't do it straight away when I did the windows, but I couldn't quite get my head around how the door was going to open and close and things. I've never done this before, and I wasn't following any instructions. It was all how I worked it out, so it took me a while. But as you can see, I've glued down the first 5 sticks. I lost the other bit of footage, and here I am gluing down these 5 sticks, making room for my door. And don't ask why I went about it like this, because I really don't know. And then when they were dry, I cut off the middle piece, which I was so careful to measure out properly. It's quite hard cutting with scissors, but I managed it. So that's the 2 halves of the front of the house. Now I could not figure a way that I could stick the walls together so that it made a house shape. So I decided to use this really thick cardboard and cut brackets, is all I can think of calling them, in it. So I cut the 4 brackets and then I scored them in half and folded them, and then I used them to support the walls, so it made a nice joint. Once again using the wonderful Collall glue. Lining it up so that it's definitely stuck in the right place. These brackets made they were absolutely a brilliant idea, even if I do say so myself. They just really supported it and made it structurally sound. Made life so much easier. As you can see, I've put a little bit of cardboard in that side there so that the bracket sits all the way down instead of just sitting on the 2 struts. And I did the same on all 4 corners. And here I am just putting in some structure for the back bits before I stick them all together, which you didn't see. And here I am getting out the hinges, tiny little hinges, which I ordered from Amazon. They are minute, but they're really good little hinges, and just ideal for this. And I stick these ones down with Collall glue, and that seems to have held these ones. I did try sticking the door to the house with Collall glue, but unfortunately it didn't work, and as you'll see a bit later, I had to screw the hinges to the inside of the house. And this is me making the apex for the roof so that I have a proper roof rather than a flat roof. And I literally stuck the coffee stirrers onto my resin bezel tape and I smothered it with glue. I made 2 the same. When they were dry, I turned them over and smothered them with glue on the other side. And then when that was dry, I measured the width of the house, the width or the length as I wanted the apex to be. And then I put a mark in the middle of that length. And I cut a triangle using that mark, as you can see. Draw a line from the middle point down to the end, and then cut it out. And I did the same for both sides. That's it. And then I glue it in place with Collall glue, and I use clips to hold it. Crocodile clips, I think I used. Bulldog clips, whatever you call them, bulldog clips to hold it in place. Oh no, look, it's a sewing clip, a hemming clip. I don't mind what clips I use as long as they're clips. And that just holds it in place while the glue dries. I think I might use bulldog clips as well. And here I am. This is where I decided that I couldn't use glue on the door because the hinges fell off. So I'm just putting a long stick on there to give me, there's the bulldog clips, to give me enough wood that I can put screws into. And when it was a bit dry, I chopped off the length that was sticking up. And then I put the apex on that side. I should have actually done that afterwards because you can't see anything of what I'm just about to do. But I'm lining up the door, and I decide to cut some of the wood off the top of the door because I wanted it to be higher. So I cut some of the arch off the top of the door. It. I've decided it needs to have a bit more cut off, I think. That's it. I've just got my pointy tool and I'm gonna make a hole where I drew my pencil mark. And I did that on all 3, all the way down. And then I got my my small screwdriver, precision screwdrivers I think they're called, the little tiny ones, and I lined up the hinges with the holes and I screwed the screws in all of the way down, and it worked really well. I was quite pleased with the way the door works now. It's all trial and error, isn't it? I thought the glue would work because it worked actually on the door, but it wouldn't work on the house, holding the door onto the house. I did that all the way down, and here I am measuring and gluing the support struts for the roof. They're made out of, as you can see, coffee stirrers, the same as the apex was made out of. Just cutting and gluing those into place. And then I decided to make the roof. So I measured out some more of that thick card and cut the pieces, and then I measured the centre, and I put the centre roof slat onto the centre of the card, and I thought for a bit of detail I would use the coffee stirrers and the wide sticks, craft sticks. I just thought it added a bit of interest, and I made two exactly the same. I am pleased with the way the roof turned out. It does give it a little bit of interest, just a bit different. And apart from anything else, I was running out of craft sticks, big and small, so coffee stirrers had to be used. And while that was drying, while they were drying, I decided I needed to put a little hook or something on the front door so the kids could open it. So I've used a little chain. I drilled a tiny hole with my Dremel, and I've just used an eye screw and screwed in. And here I am lining up the roof. I had to cut the cardboard so it would fit down properly, so I've just lined it and cut it, both pieces, pulling it off. And now I've laid the house back over the roof piece. Now I've cut the cardboard to the right length, and I'm going to draw a line across. I draw the line under on this side of the roof, and on the other side of the roof I draw it on the other side so it's longer, and then I cut them across the lines I draw, and then I glue them into place. Unfortunately, the bit of me gluing them into place I can't find, but I will show you in a second me holding them in place while the glue dries quickly. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this. You will soon see a picture of the finished product. I'm really, really pleased with the house, the fairy house. I love it. Oh, here I am holding the roof in place. Lines up nicely, doesn't it? Anyway, thank you for joining me. I hope to see you again soon. Hopefully we'll finish the fairy garden soon. Thank you. Bye.